Good morning, it's the Civil Savage 76, otherwise known as Rex Knickerbocker. Today I just wanted to briefly discuss with you the Russia conflict, the amassing of troops along the Ukrainian border. It's a complete and utter shit show. And what I find most amusing about the situation is that we're not even a country anymore, and we lack in preparedness with respect to our military and its ability to mobilize, and yet we want to go to war with Russia. It's intentionally irrational. It's not buffoonery, it's intentional. You notice the Durham investigation is heating up quite a bit. What they also don't want you to know is that the Ukraine is a center for the elite's special interests with respect to child sex trafficking, among many other corrupt business practices, not limited to espionage, false wiring, and insider trading. And yet we want to go to war with a country that has already developed armor that allows them to sustain considerably high explosions. And we're over here offended by Pepe Le Pew, while everybody sits on their Snapchat, and we're going to go to war with one of the greatest military powers on the planet. Now, I'm not trying to toot Russia's horn here, but those guys and girls, they train 6 ways to Sunday every day and have been since they were children. Now, what have American children been doing for the last 20 years? It's all part of the plan, right? Snapchat, Pizza Hut, jerking off, porn, Skittles, Slurpees, lackluster sports performances. Everybody had their half-baked mentality growing up. Everybody wanted their creature comforts, their conveniences. Well, in Russia, there is no creature comforts and fucking conveniences. And if you smile, you get shot. If you don't fire your AK-47 correctly, you have to do 20 babushkas. That's Spetsnaz Russian Spec Ops slang for push-ups. Yeah, if you don't fire your weapon right at 12 years old, you have to do babushkas in the negative 60 degrees. Yet you want to go to war with Russia. Okay. And let me guess, it's because you have all the latest gadgets and technology, right? Well, in Russia, when it's fucking negative 70 degrees and Gustav is firing at you with anti-tank armor for shits and giggles, you're not going to think it's so fucking great anymore, are you? Because all your stuff's going to be frozen, you're not going to be prepared, you're going to lack in readiness, because you're trying to figure out whether the person in your unit has a cock or a pussy, and you're not going to even care to notice that they're surrounding you and flanking you. You see, going to war with Russia is probably dumber than, I don't know, I guess the Tonkin Gulf resolution. I mean, that's what Biden's looking at right now. He's trying to create another Tonkin Gulf resolution, a false flag, so that he can start a war with Russia. So it can take the national lens off of all of his crimes, and his family's crimes, and his constituents' crimes, Hillary, all the rest of them. Watch very closely to the Durham investigation. That is if Biden doesn't poke the bear that is Russia first. Because if he does that, you're not going to find out anything. And I guess they're going to have it the way they always wanted to. They love to create wars. It's a subversion tactic. So as we get closer and closer to this buildup, this escalation with Ukraine, keep in mind that psychopaths will do anything to draw the attention off of that of their own psychopathy. And in fact, they'll go and engage in new forms of psychopathy in order to detract from that of their own. So I'm not knocking America. I try to support the military as much as I can. I have a couple of friends of mine who are getting out for very passionate reasons. One of my friends happens to be Special Forces, and he was actually part of the Quick Response Force in northern Iraq in 2014. Friend of mine, he faithfully served his country. He's been on several tours. He's getting out. because he knows the military is also being subverted. Um, and sooner or later, you're going to have, people playing patty cake up on a tank, and they're not going to be ready for the other world powers that they thought that they could take on. Because honestly, Snapchat, Tinder, jerking off, Pizza Hut, Skittles, all this crap that we grew up with in the last 20 years, it was all part of the plan. Because I'm telling you right now, Chinese and Russian kids, they never grew up with this stuff. They literally grew up learning how to fire off mortars and operate weapon systems, and you think you're going to go take them on. While your military's literally getting cucked and subverted by some fat piece of shit like Millie, basically sucking Chinese you know what right now. So next time you think you're going to be big and bad and fight the fucking Russians, these people have been doing this all their life and it's what they live for. And you think you're going to go over there, with your false sense of fucking vigor and all your advanced technology, and you're probably going to get outdone by a bunch of goons with RPKs and Gustavs. So you really have to consider where we're at, America, because it ain't good. It ain't good, as a Southern man would say.